What's poppin', man? It's your boy Trip G, the coolest nigga in the room, man. We're here for another episode of Blunt Convos. Man, I got a special guest, man, a surprise guest I wasn't even ready for. I got my aunt, man, Natural Red here in the building. How you doing?
What's up? What's up? I'm in the building to have a blunt convo.
Yes, quite literally, quite literally. Let me spark mine up. So, Annie, I like to kind of just get right into it, you know what I'm saying? And first and foremost, with the audience, we all want to know, where are you from?
Okay. Well, first, I am Natural Red. I was raised in Boley in Oklahoma City. I currently reside in Long Beach. I've been there for about 20 years. But Oklahoma City is my home. When I'm out there, I tell people I'm from Boley and OKC. You know, I tell them from Boley because that's where my family roots are. Yeah. And if you know Boley, you know, we probably cousins. Like, you know what I mean? So, but I rep OKC and LBC.
Okay. And LBC, how long have you been out there?
Actually, this makes 21 years.
Wow.
21 years that I loaded all my shit up in the backseat of a Honda Accord. Yeah. I had 5 fat blunts like this, about $3,000. I'm not left here, you know, shit with a dream. I left and went to do it.
Straight up. So we're going to get into that. First, I want to ask you, what was it like for you growing up?
My life was great. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I spent some time in New York with my grandmother. So I would go from extreme city down to Boley, which is like extreme country. Yeah. You know, so I feel like I was well-rounded. You know, of course, your teenage years, those are tumultuous. You know, you go through things. So, you know, but I had a great life. When I look back on it as an adult, my life was great.
Straight up.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Any siblings?
I am the oldest of 6 girls on my dad's side.
Oh, wow.
I'm the oldest, and then there's 5 sisters. And rest in peace to my sister Rochelle LaFrance Fisher. But from my mom, I'm the only child.
Okay. So, as far as rap music, how has that been in your life? Like, has that always been a thing for you? What was the influence to that?
You know, I've been around pretty much since it came out. Like, I'm 52 years old.
Okay.
I know I don't look it, but I am. But so I've been in the game since soon as I heard it. I loved it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think one of the first songs I heard was like "Hard Times" by Run DMC. And it was like hard times spreading just like the flu. Watch out, homeboy, don't let it catch you. You know, it was just so basic, but it was about real life. Prices going up, don't let your pockets go down. When you got short money, you're stuck on the ground, you know? So, and I was like, oh, wow, what is this? You know what I mean? It was a new genre, it was a new everything, and then I just started hearing more and more, and then I started hearing the girls. Yeah. You know what I mean? And, it was just, I was blown away because it was like empowering, you know, you hear these girls talking this shit because they start answering and I was like, oh my God. So I'm learning, you know, their words, and then it just occurred to me that I could use my own words.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's how I started. I think I was like 12 years old. So
12.
That when I wrote my first rap, I'm sure I was about 12.
That's crazy.
And I'm 52 now, so.
And so when you got into the rap scene here, or the music scene here in Oklahoma City, how old were you then?
I am OKC's first lady of rap. I'm the first female rapper from the whole state.
Stand on it.
Because back then there was no girls rapping. I started out, I used to break, and when the rap came, when the rap came out, exactly. I'm all elements of hip hop though. But when the music came out, when the rap came out, I was right there, and I go back with OGs like Steve Kitchens and MC Windwalker, you know, like, do your history and look that up. LL Cool Ray, Marvin Ray, if y'all know about them. Y'all know about, I was the only girl, you know what I mean? But I was tearing them up, you know what I mean? So I am OKC's first lady of rap. So I've been in this music game, in this, you know, for a very long time. I always would move places, you know, because I lived all over, because I'm not going to say my personality was larger than Oklahoma. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I've been in D.C. and in this, so that's why I ended up residing in Cali. But So I was always going somewhere, but I was always coming back. And everywhere I go, I rep this city. But yeah, I made music here for I don't know how long. Record Boy Entertainment, rest in peace, Spider. You know, like come on, man. I go way, way back in this town.
Wow, wow. So like, I guess I would say then, I have to ask you, what was the scene like as far as hip hop, rap, like at that time when you was coming up? Because at this time it's like, you know, free play for everybody. You can kind of do your own thing. I expected there was like certain rules and things that y'all had to follow in a sense to kind of, you know.
Back in the day, you could not get caught rapping somebody else's rap. Like that'll get your ass whooped because it's like now we know you're stealing my intellectual property, but back then it was like you biting my rhymes, you know, like what? No, you can't say that. I made that up, you know. That's in the before because nobody at first it was just a sport, like nobody really even looked to the business end of one day I'm gonna make a song and put it out like these songs.
Right.
But we just in the hallway, it's friendly competition and sometimes not so friendly. You know what I mean? But so it was a sport, you know.
Right.
But once people start to monetize it and put business to it, you know, we've had a lot of artists from Oklahoma City that did their thing. You know, I think Nitro was probably the first artist to get like a real deal back in the day where I think he signed to like Queen Latifah or whatever, and they came back and did a couple of things, you know, but that, you know, I think, I don't know what happened after that. You know, they still do things or whatever, but who else we had? We had like a lot of dope ass artists. And then some females started popping out too. So I think young Honeysickle, she used to run the town. She used to get it, you know, like she was dope. So, you know, but people just, you know, I just kept going for it. I was like, I'm never gonna stop. I'm gonna push this shit as far as I can push it, and I'm not gonna just push it in the borders of Oklahoma.
That part.
Which is why I migrated to California, where it was popping.
Right, right. So when you migrated, was it just you, or did your mom go out there with you?
Initially, it was
sisters?
me, and I left my son with his dad. He was like almost 2 at the time. I was like, hey, I'm moving to Cali. Nigga, keep your baby. I'm gonna come back and get him when I get my shit together. You know what I mean?
That part.
So, and what I had went to here. What happened was I had went on a Memorial Day vacation, right? And I was going out there to push my music, but also for vacation. But I was only going for 5 days.
Okay.
So in my mind, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna get off the plane. They gonna hear this shit and it's gonna crack. You know what I mean? That's not how it happened. So I was going to come back, and you know, I was like, but I said, how can I give something I worked a lifetime on 5 days? To, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay the whole summer, and I was like, I'm gonna keep my place in Oklahoma. I'm gonna take off from my job. I'm gonna come out here and push it for the summer, but then and pay my cousin so I could stay with her. You know, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna do that. I might as well just move.
Wow.
So you know. I worked in the collection industry because I'm not just I wasn't a starving artist. I had a corporate career in collections, right? So I worked for a company called GC Services, which if you've had tickets or bill or you owe somebody, I'm sure they done called you or mailed you a letter. But they had an office in Irwindale, California, which I was moving directly to Hollywood. My cousin lived in Hollywood, so I was like, oh my God, I'm moving to Hollywood, you know. So, but I moved out there and I transferred my job. And I think by July, I started my work in July 27th because I had taken off till then. Because I went on Memorial Day, by 4th of July, I lived there.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm coming back to get my stuff and this is that. So I worked and got my own place in like 3 months in October. For my birthday, I actually got the keys on my birthday, October 29th. And it was like 3 months I had a duplex. Not an apartment, a duplex. That's big because I've always had a yard in Cali, which people don't be having yards. Like it's different. But you know, came back to get my son, and you know how y'all baby daddies want to do. Because he thought I wasn't gonna make it. You know what I mean? He didn't think I was gonna make it. He thought I was gonna go out there and have to come back, you know, fall on my ass, and that was not the case. I was like, okay, I got my place, get my baby. And he was like, oh. So it took some time, but I got him, you know. And,
Straight up.
you know, the rest is history.
Wow, wow. So your son living out there with you, and
Yeah.
then any other relatives out there with you?
Of course, later on, I came and got my mom. I've been on
Yeah.
her. I was like, I would come back to She was my reason that I would really consistently come back to Oklahoma, because before she moved out there, I was out here at least once every year, every 2 years at the latest.
Yeah, yeah.
Now she'd be out there, it'd be like 7 years, 5 years, you know. Or I come in and if I go to Texas, I'll drive up
Yeah.
and see my dad and stuff, and then I go right back to Texas and fly back out, you know. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but this round, I said, let me stay in town, stay home for a few days. But I came and bought her out there. I had bought her a car and drove it down here, because her birthday is May 14th, and sometimes it falls on Mother's Day.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I was able to go to the car lot, get a car, get her and drive it to her. You know, like,
Yeah.
here you go. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Because she in there, I'll make the payment. Don't worry about it. You know, or whatever. And then 6 months later, she's like, and I was like, you need to move to Cali. Mind you, I've been on her to move. You need to come on out here. Child, 6 months after she get the car, she ready to move. So I had to drive down here with a big old F-350, you know what I mean? Get the car, load her stuff, and drive her back to Cali. So she lived like right across, like diagonal. Like, she literally walks over to my house every morning, and we're on the porch having coffee, and she smoked her cigarettes, I smoke my blunt.
Yeah, that's motivation. Dang. See, me and my brother, he actually left out of Oklahoma before I did. He went to like Vegas with my mom before. When he was like, I don't know, I think he was probably like 16 or so. But my first time leaving Oklahoma was when I was 18.
Oh, okay.
So that time when I drove out there with JB, shout out to JB, that 19 hours, that was an ass kicker. But when I went out there the first time, I promise you, I kept telling myself, I gotta get my brother out here. I gotta get my brother out here.
Yeah.
And the next time we came, I had my brother with me. And then when me and him was out there,
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
I
you
came
good.
to that show, right?
You came to that show.
Okay,
Yep,
yeah, I
he was
remember
there.
that, yeah.
And
Who's only 19?
yeah, I was a young dude. And with my brother, me and him, when we got out there, we was just talking about it, man, we gotta get mom out here. We gotta get mom out here. So, you know, knowing that we about to go out there and visit you here soon, hopefully she see the experience, and I think she will too, but the motivation of us wanting to go out there, we understand the cost of living and all that stuff, but like, you can make it happen is the point I'm saying, you know? I'm sure it wasn't easy with everything that you had to do, but you made it happen.
Yeah, well, I always tell people you gotta secure your reality before you chase your dream.
That's real.
Like, this is my biggest piece of advice to any artist. That you have starving artists, people sleeping in the partnership because they didn't secure their reality while they was chasing their dream. Now the dream is, oh, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna be a big star. The reality is you have to have a place to stay, you need a car to get around, you need to eat, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take care of, if you have a kid, you got somebody dependent on you. So you have to secure that reality. So that's why I always had a corporate job. Like, there's nothing wrong with going to work every day.
At all.
People have, you know, try to shame people for making money. Whether you flipping burgers, whether you know, selling socks or whatever the fuck you're doing. Don't let nobody shame you out of supporting yourself in whatever way makes it happen for you. I'm saying that to the camera. You know what I mean? Because that's what people do. Oh, you work at the gas station. You ain't no rapper. Well, bitch. You know, what? And you government assisted. You're not a rapper either. You know what I mean? Like, and what? I'm supporting myself. And you use that money to invest in your, you know, I can't tell you how much corporate money I use to advance my rap career. The money to press up them CDs didn't come out of thin air. That came out of my paycheck. You know what I mean? So those are the benefits of having that real income. Like, ain't nothing like guaranteed income. That shit that's up in the air is a headache. But when you know that direct deposit is coming every 2 fucking weeks, and you got that shit mapped out, and you got enough to cover what you're doing and invest in your career, you know, like, don't do those 8 hours and come home and not give your passion the same amount of time. You know what I mean? Because it was draining. It's a struggle. It's like, damn, I would go to work 8 hours, then come home and get in this rap shit. I gotta go to the studio. I'm about to be up till 3 in the morning. I gotta be at work at 8.
Yeah.
You know, oh my God. It
Yeah.
was a time I used to have to go to work at 6 in the morning on a Saturday. So sometimes I didn't go to sleep. You know what I mean? You know, and I'm a manager. I was a manager by then. You know what I mean? Like I'm a manager of collection team. They see me come in, they be like, you know, I had to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? I'll go to sleep when I go home
And
from work.
That's the realest shit. I would say when I started rapping, there's two people I consider my OG, and not just like in the music, but like in life, because they didn't like push me to do stupid shit. You know, and one of them, he's actually here in the room in the audience. Shout out to DJ Reaper. But
Okay.
his since I was 15, like he's always instilled like, bro, fuck this rap shit, fuck this music shit, bro. Like take care of what you need to. And like even a time like in my 20s when I was, you know, fighting for my daughter, going back and forth to court, all that money I was spending on that. It was draining, you know what I'm saying? It was like discouraging. It's like, damn, I'm working to put the money into my dream, but I'm putting it into my child. And when I tell you on the other side of that, it just feel greater.
Yeah.
It's just like
You was
it's
putting it
secure.
into your reality.
My reality.
Instead of your
Yeah,
dream. That
yeah.
dream, you know, dreams don't have deadlines.
That part.
You know, people, that's another thing with ageism.
Damn, that's real.
You know what I mean? Y'all, you know, I'm 52 years old. I used to not want to say that shit in the rap world because they'd be like, oh, you too old. But then the men can come on at 100 and get on, you know what I mean? But it's like the craft is 50 years old, so it is what it is, you know?
Right.
So that's something that goes on in hip hop, but I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna embrace that because I'm a seasoned veteran. I'm not one of these kids. I'm not one of your little friends. No, but you know what I'm saying? I've experienced some life and a lot of it. And so I wear that with a badge now. Like I'm gonna be 53 and I'll stand next to a little 30-something any day and I'll get in the booth with anybody.
That part.
You know what I mean? Like I don't
part.
care how old you is, you're gonna get circles wrapped around your ass. And that's what it is. Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
So have you been out in Cali longer than you've lived in Oklahoma?
Nah.
Not yet.
Nah, not yet. But
at this point, outside of like the cost of living, environment-wise, I know there's a difference. I've experienced it. There's some people that haven't. From your perspective, what is the differences between being here, living here, and living out in Long Beach?
Let's see. Well, I've received more support from Long Beach than I have from Oklahoma.
Say that.
You know what I mean? Straight up, Long Beach has embraced me as one of their own. Shout out to the Dog Pound, shout out to the LBC, shout out to the East Side. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they have embraced me, they lift me up, they support me. You know, I have something, they show up. You know what I mean? So that's a little bit of a difference for the people-wise. It's really family. Of course, you know, Cali is a different way of life. You know, but it is, but it isn't. You know, it's like I got a song that say, it's like I'm home away from home, but the weed is legal. That was before Cali had, you know, Oklahoma got their game up. But yeah, you know, it's just like I'm living my life over in the Cali sequel. You know what I mean? It's like. But yeah, with the cost and stuff, life is faster out there. Like y'all be shut down. Like last night on my way where I was going, I couldn't find nothing open. Like shit, y'all don't have nothing. Ain't too much 24 hours out here. Like, you know, so this city goes to sleep. That city does not. You know, all the way around, you could go get anything you want all night long. So, but yeah, it's all, and also for entertainment purposes. Like out there, you're overwhelmed with shit to do on Friday. Here, it's like, this is what we're doing. And that's it. That's it. I was like, oh my God, yeah, but, you know, I was like, what y'all doing on Friday night, Oklahoma? You know, like, shit. You know, and it was like crickets. Like,
going to sleep?
Yeah. 11:45 and 10:30.
Yeah. And like, there's been like some, you know, like shootings and stuff happening, so that's been shutting
everywhere.
Stuff down.
Yeah, I did hear about it.
Of course, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
But that's the point.
And that's unfortunate.
It's so small here.
And then y'all open carry.
Yeah.
That's a setup, like in case y'all don't get it, but whatever. Yeah, that's a straight setup, like,
Yeah.
because why is that necessary in 2025? It is, but it isn't. But that just makes shit
And
worse.
for you to say that, and you live out in Long Beach. Like,
Yeah.
I was out there that week I was with you,
Boy,
and
can
it
you
was like, you gotta
imagine if
watch over
LA
your
was
shoulders for
open
real.
carry?
No.
They'd never do it. Yeah, the
Yeah.
police would be overwhelmed. Listen, they would probably quit. The union would be like, you know what, we quit. We ain't playing with these nut jobs, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. And that violence is everywhere. That's an unfortunate part of our society. But I feel like it is the access to guns.
Yeah.
You know, because if you knew you had like in Dubai, get caught with a gun, that's life in prison.
Life.
Now, yeah, if you're not legally supposed to have it. So I feel like if the U.S. really wanted to curb that problem, they can impose those type of stipulations for gun possession.
Yeah.
You know, like and then niggas would think 10 times. And you know, before they walk outside with that pistol, before they even have it to pick up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you know you're gonna get 50 years automatic if you get caught with a gun that's not yours, guess what you're not gonna have in your possession.
That's right. It's like, that's not worth it at all. That's a stupid ass risk to take.
Yeah.
Over anything.
It would be, but since
Yeah.
there's no real consequence like that, anybody can have it. You get a few years, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Straight up. So
that would help.
I can say that, like I said, I was out there for a week out there with you, and
Yeah.
again, that week would have been rough. When I flew in, I didn't have the rental and everything set up like I thought I did.
Yeah.
So thank you again for that.
I
you
gotta
know.
take care of my nephew.
But the support, the love, like shout out to D-Funk, shout out to Lil DZ, like immediately embraced me, grabbed me in, nephew. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
See what I'm talking about?
you know, I was out till 4, 5 in the morning, and they had my.
I know you had a good time
I
with
had a
the Smoke
blast.
Yours crew. Yeah, shout out to Smoke Yours, shout out to Slink Johnson, the president,
Yeah,
D.
yeah.
Lord Vice President, D. Funk and Lil DZ, Attorney
Yeah.
Generals of Smoke. I'm the Secretary of Smoke and Affairs. We got Gina J, the council, and Bad Bitch, Good Weed, Shay Baby, and the whole crew. Shout out to Smoke Yours. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they love you because I love you. Well, I told them, hey, this is my nephew. They was like, oh, this nephew, we got him. How old is your nephew? Oh, come on.
Yeah. Off rip. So when you say like the love and like, you know, just how you just got embraced out there. You know what I'm saying? Sticking to your craft, being true to who you are.
Yeah.
There was a time where you had took me to we was in the backyard and I got to meet some real OGs.
Oh, yeah.
And Beefy was saying to me, he was like, man, something along the lines of like, I fucks with you because you who you are. Because they was clowning on me about my jeans. Remember, I had the skinny jeans on.
Yeah, we go bag. That's a whole nother session. Yeah.
But no, he was just saying like, when he was introducing me to dude, he was just his cousin. He was telling me like, he don't bang, he don't do none of that. Like, just, you know what I'm saying? He out the way. And like, that right there shows like, if you who you are, you know what I'm saying? You will be embraced. You ain't gotta. I didn't have to go out there and be no tough guy. I didn't have to go out there and try to, you know, be nothing that I'm
emulate.
not. You know, to be around anybody. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I love the environment too. It's really rough here, and we talk about that a lot, me and the team, as far as like just how we ain't really looking for the support here. It would feel nice, but you see how the politics are.
Yeah.
So it's just best to move out of state. Like, ain't
go
no
out,
point bitching
listen,
about it,
go
just
make
move
a
around.
name. I have gone and made a name for myself on that West Coast.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to be rewarded from Oklahoma. I know Oklahoma made me who I am. You know what I mean? And my craft is my craft, and they don't gotta appreciate it.
Yeah.
But guess who do?
Yeah.
The West Coast do. Where
That
I'm
part.
at. It ain't where you from, it's where you at. Right? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And shout out to Beefy, that's my bro from Long Beach. He a rapping, singing motherfucker, but he a cut up too. But yeah, but we have, you know, I sometimes I can't even believe my life. But first of all, I'm gonna say, like, for me, I've made my path in California. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because to me, respect is everything, right? And that's what I demand in any environment, in any arena. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to have to make sure I'm respected. And so I've always moved with integrity. You know what I mean? It's no smut on my name. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm out there moving like I would move, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty piranha with the whales, swimming with the whales, we eating sharks. You know what I mean? But I've gotten respect for my art, for who I am, and how I move. You know what I mean? And that's why people fuck with me the way they fuck with me out there.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Your
Like
art, who you am, and how you move. That's
yeah. It is. And that's what will get you in the door. Self-respect and real integrity about yourself, and moving and being solid, and being. I'm a woman of my word. Like I pride myself on that. You know what I mean? I'm not playing no games with nothing. And if we in the booth, if we in the lab, I'm not playing no games with that either. They know when we write, I write right there with them. You know, and they be like, oh yeah, no, she holds her own. You know, so I'm respected for my music, and you know how I am. I've been married 10 years. You know what I mean? I'm not out. I'm outside, but I'm not outside. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So they see me and they respect that, and they know how to approach me. You know what I mean? And they approach me with the respect that they know I demand. And so because I have that, I've forged relationships with people, like real people know my name, but it trips me out. You know what I mean? Like one day I'm walking and Quick is like, hey, Red. And I was like, and listen, and I was with my cousin friend Sandy. She was like, girl, you know DJ Quick? And I said, I guess I do. But but it was like from a situation where he had needed a lighter one time. We were somewhere, and I was the only one with the lighter. But it's the small things, and so he kept having, and I was like, just keep it, you know what I'm saying? So he was like, I got something for you, and he gave me a lighter that had like Daz, Snoop, and Nate Dogg on it. Oh, it was just a dope ass. I was like, oh, thanks, Quick. You know what I mean?
Hard.
I had to act like I wasn't like, you know, so I just was like, oh, thanks, Quick. Good taking out, bro. And walked on off like I was cool, but on the inside, I was like, bitch. Fucking DJ Quick is your friend now. Like, you know what I'm saying? He know who you is. Yeah. Like, but and that's, I go home and do that a lot, you know, because it is sometimes surreal to understand that I have been out here and kind of made my dreams come true. You know, my dream was to become, not to become the most famous rapper all over the world. It was to become an established rapper that's respected among my peers, and I've met some people that I would have never thought, you know what I mean? Like when some celebrities, when I make a post about some niggas, they actually comment on it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so it's different, but it trips me out sometimes. Like, it's crazy.
It tripped me out when I was out there and you was like, come to the club, and we go out to the club and you like, Slink, this my nephew, get a picture. I'm like, what? Like, man, what? Or the Don Wine, that one.
Vicious,
See, like, shout out to my mama. My mama a real OG for real. Like, I grew up heavy on like West Coast type shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm fully aware of who Don Juan is. So when you was talking about going out there to do the podcast, I'm like, what? Like,
right?
I don't think they gonna know who he is out here type shit, you know?
No, they know who Don Juan is.
Yeah, they know
who he is.
Shout
out to Bishop, I love you.
Yeah. But just that whole environment, all of that shit was just dope. And
it's surreal. Like,
it is surreal. It is surreal. So my next question I was gonna ask you, and it was actually gonna be in reverse to the Dog Pound, because I was gonna bring up Dog Pound Slink. But let's start with Slink. So, how was that when you know, met up with Slink, when you first got introduced to the Smoke Yours crew?
Okay.
What was that introduction like?
So I'm in a movie on Tubi called The Ghetto Bird's Nest. Shout out to Samaje. And I, what had happened is I had gone with a friend, and she was going to watch her friend shoot some scenes. The homeboy Tattoo, not Taco. Tattoo was shooting some scenes, and I'm sitting there, and we just sitting there, you know, me and the chick watching him shoot his scenes, because she's like, come with me, girl, what's gonna go? You know, so I'm watching the shit, you know, and I had just started working with some other female rap rappers, you know, we was trying to do a West Coast, you know, United type shit, whatever, back then. And this was like 2012, some way back, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was a long time ago. So yeah, I had to think about it. It might have even been before then. So we're doing these. I'm watching him do the scenes, and then I was like, you know, I just watched. So went up to the producer. I was like, "You the producer?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh," I was like, "Man, if you got some scenes for some females, I got some girls. We could get in this shit if you got some shit for some females." So, you know what I mean? Like,
easy.
Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, okay," you know. So he took our information, and then later on, he really called. And so we started, the females in the scenes is, you know, us from that. So, but I'm working with Lodizi. He's a character on the scene. And me, I'm just pulling up being myself. I got my weed, you know, I do me, you know, I'm just, you know, we smoking, I'm smoking, what y'all rolling? I'm rolling, you know, we outside.
Yeah.
Like, I would have like a quarter pound for my smoke weed, you know what I mean? Like, this is back then. They was like, God damn. So, you know, they was just like, you know, they was already fucking with Slink and in the Smoke Yours crew. So they was like, you need to be from the crew. So, you know, I'm strictly in that from smoking. You know, my level of consumption on my own, having my, you know, smoke yours, but it's really not about smoking yours. It's about you smoke your own weed, smoke yours. I'm smoking mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, so they just kind of threw me in the group. Him and D-Funk, they was like, "No, you from the crew." And so they took me to a comedy show Slink was doing in Pasadena, and I met Slink, and they was like, "Slink, this Red, she from the crew."
Just like that.
He was like, "Oh, okay," you know, and I had on my Smoke Yours hat or whatever I was representing. He was like, "Yeah," so and then we all just would hang out, you know, and as he got to know me, he was like, you know, and that was roll my fat ass blunts. I always roll these blunts like this. They was like, God damn, like, you know, you know, so they just love me from it. So we the crew, you know, we get together and smoke up some shit. We go hang out, we pull up on each other, we support. They have a show, you know, we did music. So once they found out I did music, they was like, oh shit, yeah.
Automatic.
It's the crew. You know?
What's their connection? Do you know? Like
Funk and DZ?
Yep.
No, you know what? I don't know how they met. It seems like they don't know each other for a long ass time. They might even be family.
But
and I don't even know how they met Sleek or Deal. I don't know how none of us all met. How none of them all met each other, but they was a crew and I joined the family.
That was it.
So yeah.
Okay. And so what was it like, how'd you lock in with Dog Pound?
So the Dog Pound. So mainly, let's see, I had linked with Battle Cat when I first got there, my friend Sylvia, because God would just drop me off right in the right place.
Yeah.
I've never been dropped off in the wrong place out in Cali. He would always guide me to the right people, and they would guide me to the right people.
Right.
So I met up with Battle Cat when I first got there. Of course, he was already doing music with Corrupt. And I started working with this label called On the Run Records. And so, you know, they did a song with Corrupt. So I encountered Corrupt first. You know, before all of, you know, even before I moved to Long Beach, actually. You know, so then I moved to Long Beach, and Beefy introduced me to Dee Dee, which is my ride or die motherfucking partner on 21st and Locust. Shout out to Dee Dee.
Yeah.
But that's my homegirl, but she's also Dad's cousin. So, you know, and you know, Dad's being the humble superstar that he is, he still be, you know, he pop up, he be chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we all, you know, as you know, it's just what happens is we all hang out together, and people get to know me, how I am, how I roll. We laugh, we kick it, we joke, and boom. You know, like me and Dee Dee, that's like my cousin. You know, so like that's, you know, I see Daz or whatever, and so Beefy, you know, once we all got the music and shit together, it was like, oh, you do music? Oh, okay.
Wow.
You know, so he was like, you know, they put me, I'm in, you know, their videos and this and that, you know, and they went back on death row right now, so they, you know, limited on what they're doing outside of that, but you know, that's the family. That's like real family outside of music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Nah. I couldn't imagine. And like I said, growing up on that, Like growing up on Dog
Yeah.
Pound, Snoop Dogg, just
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Seeing how you just integrated in there is like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This
right.
shit is wild.
Like that's crazy. It's crazy. Like
Crazy.
it's crazy, but it's dope. It's dope. And then that doesn't mean I made it, but it means I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm where I'm supposed to be, doing what I want to do, and I'm where I want to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Speaking.
people be like, "Are you?" Man, listen. I don't need nothing.
Right.
I don't want nothing. I'm outside somewhere you ain't doing shit you can't. You know what I mean? Hey, it is what it is. So
Yeah,
have
yeah.
I made it in my world? Yes.
Right.
I am good. I eat well. I travel. You know what I'm saying? Got my son a new car for his birthday.
Right. Right.
I live in Cali. I have 2 places, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
come on, I still got entrepreneurial business. I have logistics and delivery business. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm still secure in my reality, but I'm still chasing my dream.
Yeah, same time. And speaking of chasing your dream, Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, we've been talking about the music. We've been talking about the music, but the Wheel of Fortune, though.
Shout out to Ryan and Vanna.
How was that experience?
Man, that was incredible. It was a lifelong realization. Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, all my life, I done played that game. We all watched it in the living room and solved that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I had always said, I'm going to be on Wheel of Fortune. And I finally just took the step, you know what I mean? Like, signed up and did with all the requirements and went and was on the show,
Yeah, yeah.
And that was a blessing, I had a great, great time. It was surreal. My mom was able to be there and watch it and be on the set.
Yeah.
I saw the Jeopardy set, you know what I mean? Like where they actually filmed Jeopardy. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
That's
Like these are
crazy.
things that
That's crazy.
you grow up and never, I say, you think about it, you dream about it or whatever, but like to actually go and do it, that was just a dope moment for me. I'm grateful and thankful to be able to have had that experience and to let my mom and my son have saw it,
Yeah, yeah.
Y'all saw Ryan Seacrest and Vanna White. We saw Vanna. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
come on.
Yeah. So like, is that something that you could do again, or would you do it again,
Hell yeah.
or another game show?
Yeah, I was actually on another show before I was on Wheel of Fortune. I was on a show called Switch. It was on Game Show Network or whatever, and I had got casted on that because I had like a casting profile on this casting agency thing. And
Crazy.
yeah, I almost went
not
to
your
the
first
final,
one.
but I did good. But I almost got to the final, but I did not win on that. But I was on that like literally 1 year before Wheel of Fortune.
Okay.
My episode aired before
Yeah.
my first testing and everything for Wheel of Fortune.
Okay, right
Yeah.
on. Okay, Annie, well, I ain't gonna hold you up too much longer.
Yeah, well, I'm fine. I'm chilling. It's up to you. It's up to you. I still got half a blunt left, so it's,
Well, shoot, since we do have some more time, real quick, the time when I went out there and you took us to that show, it was MC8,
Yeah.
Corrupt. I actually got to meet
Chill.
Corrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
It was
night.
Compton's Most Wanted and the Dog Pound and Dirty OGs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was epic.
I guess what I'm trying to say with that experience, when you were around those type of people in that environment, how do you stay composed?
I stay composed because while I may not be on their level, I'm on their level. And so, I just keep, move with integrity, move with respect. I know who I am. You know what I mean? I'm confident in who I am. They know who I am. And they are aware of my accolades. They are aware of my capabilities in that music shit. And then they aware of, how I am and how I move and how we fun, we kick it,
Yeah.
Like, shout out to my bro, Big C Style. Like, I only hang around real niggas out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Straight
I
up.
don't be in no mess. You know, me and my, when I'm mobbing with niggas, they be like, oh God, she's with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they be like, yeah, she's with us, you know?
Straight up.
And so we mob through and we do what we do, you know, and we're not like intimidators or nothing, but everybody knows everybody's pedigree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, I have my respect. Niggas respect me, so I don't even have to keep myself composed.
Yeah,
because I have that much respect. You know what I mean? And that's not even to say that in like an arrogant way. It's to say that in like an earned way.
Yeah,
like people know. And if I lose my composure, they're gonna be like, "What's wrong with me?" You know what I mean? She don't move like that. Somebody must have really fucked with her. Like that's it. You know what I mean? So that's I don't really have to do much. Just be myself.
Two of the artists that I can say I'm an actual fan of, Wiz Khalifa and Snoop.
Yeah.
And you got to meet both of them.
I did.
What was it like with Wiz?
Wiz is so adorable. Like, he is the cutest little thing. But he is so adorable. He's just a little sweetheart. But, you know, everybody is super humble. Like, you would think, you know, people probably think, you know, they're not, it ain't like that. Like, they super humble. They humans. You know, Snoop, like, I was taking a picture one time of him and Dee Dee. He was like, girl, get on in this picture. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they not like assholes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Wiz was like, hey. I was like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I've had anybody be an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, and I've seen, like, I saw Kevin Garnett one time. I was like, yo, we had Snoop birthday party. I was like, Kevin, I don't want to bother you, but you are who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was like, damn. You know, he couldn't say that. He was like, I am who I am. I was like, okay, now get in this picture. Yeah.
That's hard.
But yeah, you know, you just gotta be real and be yourself. You know, those people are great. You know, they just rich, and we see them all the time on TV and shit. But it doesn't. I mean, like, people are humble. You know, they gotta move a certain way because as your net worth evolves, so does your way of living and your movement through society, through the people you know and don't know. You know what I mean? So
Straight
you
up.
got to do that. But for the most part, if you there where they at, it's a great experience. We humble, we chill, we done eat together, laugh, giggle, bagged on each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, and go on about our business, and we see you next time, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, is them niggas giving you $700,000 or $50,000? No, but we're gonna have a, you know, that, and they're not obligated to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. People think because somebody else went out there and got it, that person is obligated to give it to you. That ain't it.
Yeah.
Now, they can direct you to a place where and help you get it for yourself, but no one who has gone out and made their own millions on their own accord, they are not obligated to go in their bank account and give you shit.
That part.
Like, people live and move all that. No, he's not. Like, did you help him get that? Did you take him to the bank? Did you take him, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you did, if you were instrumental in that success, then yes. But if you just over here while he was over there doing everything, he don't owe you shit.
That part.
Don't nobody owe you nothing. Get up and get out and go get it.
Straight up. Well, yeah. Shout out to the West Coast. Shout out to everybody.
The West Coast, but the East Side.
And is there anybody that, or first, do you have anything coming up that you want to announce or
Oh,
speak
wow.
on?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I got new music coming out. Big C Style Presents. Y'all can look him up, you know, see that. I got, man. Yeah, I got some Netflix soundtracks coming up, you know, with songs that are coming out, and I'm into creating like visuals, movies, series. You know, we're developing series for a production studio that I started working with, All in One, Stage 20 Entertainment. So, you know, and then I'm also I'm getting in. I got a song coming out with some ladies called Black Women on the Rise. You know, just uplifting and bringing positivity back to hip hop and music. You know,
Straight
there's
up.
so much negative content
Yeah.
in these songs, and you know, let's bring some love and unity type shit. You know,
Yeah.
music moves the masses. Music pretty much controls society.
Yeah.
Like, but when the love songs was about niggas loving on their women, that's what they was doing. When the songs became about hating that bitch and making that baby, that's what they doing. So the music, that's programming. It is what it is, but that's what you listen to every day. That's what you're going to end up doing. You know what I mean? So we got to bring it back to the right message. You know, stop putting that negative comments and not negative connotations in the air and in the universe.
Straight
Put
up.
positivity in that music once again, like the old school. You know.
Yup. Back to the basics.
Niggas didn't rap about one gun back in the day. Hard times spreading just like the flu. That was it. You know, back to the basics, like telling that shit, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, shout out to Kendrick Lamar, man.
Shout out to Dot.
Shout out to K. Dot
Yeah.
and the art of hip hop.
Yeah. Straight
The
up.
art of hip hop. Hip hop is an art. Rap is an art. That's painting pictures with your word. Your words, your pencil, when you write them bars, that's your paintbrush.
Yeah.
And then bars is your picture. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
For
Straight
real.
up. Yeah. Say that. Is there anyone that you want to shout out? Any shout outs you got?
Man, shit, shout out to everybody. Shout out to OKC, shout out to Long Beach, shout out to Big C Style, shout out to Beefy Loke, shout out to Trip G, and his brother Trev, and they mama Trish, yeah. Okay, shout out to just, you know, everybody that love a nigga and even those that don't. You know what I mean? Love yourself. If you don't love me, at least love you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's it, you know. Shout out to everybody wanting to do better. That's okay with other people doing better. Shit, everybody trying to get it, everybody that got it.
Yeah. Get to it. Say that.
To the world.
Well, look, y'all, we are here again for another episode of Blunt Convo. Appreciate y'all. We out this motherfucker. Dream.